Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. How's everyone doing? Welcome, Jaggers. Welcome back, shall I say. I know that face. Welcome back. Hey there, Skull Mackie. Hey, Cammie. How are you doing? Hey, One Harsh One, Shelly. Hey, Pony Girl. Christina, Musical Contessa. How are you guys doing? Amy W. Welcome, welcome. Finally made it live. I'm glad you made it. This is sort of like a continuance of the conversation we had the other day. Hey there, TB. When we went over, I believe her name was Jordan and Cassidy. I think that was their names. I just had it pulled up. Let me pull it back up real quick, and I'll drop the link in the chat just in case you guys don't or haven't seen that one. And if you're following along when it comes to the Moscow police reports, when it comes to the interviews, this one would be number 75. It starts at page 170. We, again, went through it a little bit when we were talking about the other girl's interview, because this is the group of friends that Kaylee Goncalves had some sort of lunch with back in September. And they talk about the fact that there was something given to Kaylee by what they're considering a stalker. It's several different people. It's about like 4 altogether, as far as I can tell. And they all have this same recollection of going to a lunch in September. I believe the exact date is September 11th of 2022 with Kaylee, and her mentioning receiving something from someone that she's labeling a stalker, something about Facebook Messenger. And it's just really, really interesting because we have been told this entire time that regardless of anything, before there was a name, before even the FBI had any clue who Kohberger was, they were out here telling us that there was no stalker situation. Even after we had several people come forward with stories now that we know about from the police reports saying that there were stalkery things, the difference is what we're figuring out now, going through all of the actual reports, what we're figuring out is that when it came to the Winco situation, that was guys trying to ask girls out and they were failing miserably. And Kaylee was not the only person that they were following around and looking at all crazy that day. Something else that we realized was that Bethany was the only person that Kaylee called when she was outside that time, and called Bethany because someone was outside when she was with Murphy. Because even Dylan and everyone else that tells the police this story, they all started with, well, I was talking to Redacted. Well, we were having a conversation about Redacted and what she had to say. And when Kaylee called her, like, it's all the same story, making it sound like it's like, oh, something that was going all over the place. But it sounds from all of the reports. The only person Kaylee told that to was Bethany that day on that phone call. And then it was just done and over with. This is a completely different scenario. This is a scenario months prior in September. People that do not live at 1122. Some of these people aren't even college students anymore. They're graduated at the time of this incident that were visiting. They all have the same memory of this situation, so far down to Kaylee stating that she received something from this person. We also know the Goncalveses came out in the very beginning and said that they had to sign some sort of permission for the cops to go through Kaylee's mail. So there seems to be some sort of backing here. Now, what ended up happening there? I don't know. We have this scenario, and then the crazy situation coming out of the last live that we did when it comes to this person that has a personal vendetta against a school, and according to the story, the house itself, which is something else that we're digging more into. Where it's going to lead, I don't know, but it's interesting. And to know that literally everything that the cops were looking at was just shelved the second they got the call from the FBI, and they didn't even know why. Brett Payne said himself that on December 19th, when they got that call, they were just given Bryan's name. They didn't know until the next day that it came from any sort of DNA, IgG stuff. They didn't even know on the 19th it came from the knife sheath. They were just given a name, and that was it. Everything else literally was reverse engineered from there. And again, we've also received proof that Jack Jacour was the #1 suspect on all of the Idaho forensic reports that we received from them. And there's still a redacted first name, even after Kohberger's added as the second suspect, just to find out that Jack Jacour's fingerprints weren't even taken until summer of 2025, yet he was cleared within a week. None of this shit makes sense. That's why we're still here, still asking questions. And like I mentioned, these are seemingly real things. And could this person that was maybe stalking Kaylee be the same one that followed Maddie and Xana to the Mad Greek from the school, followed them back to 1122, had been in that house before? At least what the story is being told to us is what he's confessed to. I don't know. Could be. We don't know. We don't know. But I don't think the cops really know either, because it seems like anything of importance they just put up and didn't bother with. And they just blindly followed whatever they were told to follow. So we're looking into this stuff as much as we can for being people out here, because we're not going to be privy to every little bitty thing. There's stuff that's public record. That's the stuff we're going to dig into. But anything else, what are we supposed to do? We can only assume so much based off facts that we're given. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at all of it because it's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. And I don't understand how we were being told that there was no stalker. I will also say, these friends all having this exact same recollection of a stalker in September still bothers me, because Steve Jr. and Olivia, in the very beginning, I believe it was an interview with Chris Como. I have the clip somewhere. He's asking them about the stalker because at this point, what's his name? Mark Garagos came out, and he was the first person to put some stalker stuff out there into the media. It was after that they were talking to Chris Como, and they were like, no, we didn't know anything about a stalker. And Olivia was like, there'd be no reason for her not to tell us that kind of thing. Well, if this happened in September and she's telling a collective group of friends that aren't her family, and her family has no idea about a stalker, what that's weird. Why would she not tell them that? Maybe not to worry them. I don't know. I don't know. But all of these friends have this exact same recollection. And it's important to note, they're claiming that Kaylee received something from this person. That means that they knew where she was. They knew where she lived. If it was from the mail. Whatever it is, the word stalker is the one thing connecting all of their memories and the lunch where it happened at. I wish that they had more specifics. Maybe down the line they did. These are just the initial interviews. Maybe some information was found in messages and conversations. I wish we were privy to the Facebook messages. I don't want to dig in everyone's freaking business, but when it comes to the very specific details of this kind of thing, I would love a few little pieces of something to let us know what was really going on. We'll never get it unless one of these girls come forward, show their messages, and be like, this is exactly what the conversation was. We just didn't remember at the time. That would be beautiful to come out here and clear this up with some facts, all of them collectively, since they all knew about it. Will they? I doubt it, because no one really wants to keep digging into stuff that's on the edge of this. They're happy that there's someone in jail and that they can move on as much as they can. So a lot of people aren't going to think, maybe I should go back and look at what was said. Maybe there is something to that after all. Something doesn't seem right. I get that. But I'm still here to ask questions. So that's what we're going to do, because something's just weird. Something's just really strange. Hey there, Sassy Southerner. 2 years was such a long time. Thank you for being here for so long. Welcome, Teresa. Welcome, Jessica. And welcome, Shirley. Welcome, new members. Okay. I'm going to get this put up here. Now, this is Connor's audio. I will tell you, this one is different. Now, I will argue back and forth about the last one with Scott Perky, because nothing that I have found has shown me that I'm incorrect on that one. And I always verify as far as I possibly can with what we are talking about when it comes to who is who. You're going to see that I have something over this girl's face when it comes to the picture that Connor used for this one, because this is one I cannot validate. I could validate Jordan. I could validate Cassidy. I could validate Scott Perky. I can't validate this girl. I can't. So I'm going to keep the initials where the initials are, and we're going to listen to it like this with this over her face, because I went to Jordan and Cassidy's Facebooks, and the only girl that has Rachel as a first name with R as the first initial, it's her married name, and that girl's maiden name starts with an H. And I couldn't find her. So since I can't verify the face that was put with the name, I'm just not going to use the name or the face. if someone knows where there's some sort of like clarification for who she is, then that would be great. But when I went to look at the two girls' Facebook pages where I was able to validate who they were together with their relationships, this girl's nowhere to be found. I looked on Instagram as far as I could too. I didn't see her. So I don't know. I don't know. So we're going to listen to this. Okay, so somebody came in here and wants to be stupid. You can be stupid by yourself. Okay, we're going to listen to this because, again, these are friends of Kaylee's that all collectively remembered her having some sort of stalker. And I think to be able to exactly find out what happened here, the truth needs to be discussed. And if all of her friends remember someone stalking her and her having something sent to her that she wasn't expecting and it shook her up and she's telling them about it, it's important. So if you're going to come in here being a dickhead after you sat here for 5 minutes and literally no one is saying anything other than these are actual factual friends of Kaylee's that had a concern, if you're going to be a dumbass about us giving a shit about her friends having a real concern for her, then what the frick are you here for? You weirdo. You weirdo. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Hey, is this?
And again, this is the same police officer. This is Vargas talking to her.
Hey, this is Detective Vargas with the Moscow Police Department.
Hi.
Hey, I was just giving your name and phone number that you have some possible information.
Yeah, so I talked with the detective yesterday, and...
So this was on November 15th. So on November 14th, she talked with another detective. It could be FBI. It could be ISP. I didn't have the time to go look through the ISP files. I'm going to pull it up as this plays and see if I can maybe find something where maybe she talked to ISP. But if it was a Fed, then there probably won't be a report. I'm going to go look right now while this plays, though.
I told him about a lunch that Kaylee and I went to, and she mentioned having a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking my friends for more details. I know that she received something, and I can't remember if it was through the mail or through the phone, but talking with some friends, it might have been through Facebook Messenger. But we cannot.
See, that's the only thing I'm really confused about, because either she received something physically in the mail or she got something through Facebook Messenger. But if it's something through Facebook Messenger and they're saying that she received something, I'm not sure what they could mean by that. Like if they're thinking it could be through the mail, then it can't be like something like a photo that they didn't want, or like she didn't want, right? It would have to be something else. That's why it's confusing when they say that, because I don't know anything that could be sent both ways and it be confusing. Does that make sense?
I remember, like, absolutely for sure, and where it was from.
Okay. Do you remember,
and then,
like,
pardon me?
You said Facebook Messenger. Do you think she
maybe
received like a note or something from somebody through that?
Yeah, but see, it's just the thing. Like, how do I word this? What could be sent through both the postal mail and like digital mail that would be something that you would be confused on which way that it could go? I don't know very many things. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm confused.
So I wanted to say she got something through the mail and like that it was kind of obscure. But when I talked to one of the other girls that was at lunch, she said that it might have been like a very weird message from Facebook Messenger.
So it could have been something obscure through the mail. And again, like I said about what Stephen Christie said, we also have a warrant for mail trucks, cameras for mail trucks for a certain amount of time. I'll go pull that one up here too in a second. So I don't know. I just wish we had more details.
And like we just are racking our brains and cannot remember. And I apologize for not remembering more, but
no worries.
Hoping that might help a little bit.
Oh, of course, yeah. Anything that anybody can remember or think of.
And so going off of that, there is a rumor that's kind of going around that she saw someone in like a black ski mask, and I would ask for more details about that because he's the one that's coming from.
Okay, so what she just mentioned, I don't know if this is the same thing or if this is about Dylan at this point, because she's saying that she's getting this information from a male. She's going to say she doesn't have this male's name. It's about somebody in a black ski mask. I only listened to this like one time real quick because I was trying to get the audio upped, like the volume upped. So I don't remember if she says if this is about Dylan or Kaylee or if they make it clear. I'm just not sure who she's talking about here, or if it's the situation where Kaylee was outside as she called Bethany, because at this point we know from the initial interviews that were done at MPD on the 13th alone, how many people at that point, because of the time in between them being let go from the scene and getting to MPD after showering and going to Emily's and changing clothes and all the freaking things, how many people had already heard from Bethany about the phone call from Kaylee, and how many people were repeating it saying they heard it from Bethany. So I don't know who, I don't know which one. I don't know which one.
Thing that anybody can remember or think
yeah,
of.
so going off of that, there is a rumor that's kind of going around that she saw someone in like a black ski mask. And I would ask for more details about that because he's the one that that's coming from.
Do you have his
like,
phone number?
Around either that, I do not have his phone number, but he was.
How do you spell his name?
Okay, so I found the one for United Parcel Service. So it's for UPS. But it's after this. It's for November 6, 2022 through November 14th, 2022. Any and all video that is recorded and stored on any delivery trucks that were in Moscow, Idaho between the dates of November 6, 2022 and November 14th, 2022. And this was served on December 2nd, 2022. So whatever is being discussed here would have been way before this because Kaylee was telling them about it in September.
And like we just are racking our brains and cannot remember. And I apologize for not remembering more, but
No worries.
hoping that might
Anything.
help a little bit.
Oh, of course, yeah. Anything that anybody can remember or think
yeah,
of.
and so going off of that, there is a rumor that's kind of going around that she saw someone in like a black ski mask, and I would ask for more details about that because he's the one that that's coming from.
Do you have his
like,
phone number?
Around either that, I do not have his phone number, but he was.
How do you spell his name?
I want to.
And he is.
They were. I wouldn't say like boyfriend words, but like we were hanging out. And like there's like a rumor going around about like Kaylee seeing someone like with a black.
Okay. I think I found a report. We're going to go over this one again after this interview is over because it starts with Detective Brady Walker and Detective Gary Tollison going and interviewing a female it says blank had been in the blank as Goncalves and initially contacted the tip line regarding a potential stalker situation. And then it starts talking about somebody getting messages from September 1st to September 15th on Instagram and people having to be blocked. I'm going to skim over it again to see if it's who I think it is, because I don't know how many times these girls were talked to. But we know that they're telling them, hey, there's a potential stalker situation, and it sounds like it's possibly the same thing. So I'm going to skim over it while I let this continue to play.
And, like, there's, like, a rumor going around about, like, Kaylee seeing someone, like, with a black ski mask while she was walking her dog. And I want to say it was around the day, but that is a rumor, but it's who that's coming from. And that, like, hearing that rumor is what brought up us remembering that Kaylee mentioned having a stalker.
Okay. Who else? I guess. What are the names?
I did it for 6 months, and The only ones that they had for the past 6 months prior to the time of the crime was just like the noise complaints, anything regarding like that address itself. So they never called and said anything about like the door being off the hinges or any of that stuff ever. I would have been calling them. Oh man, if I came home and my door was off the freaking hinges or practically off the hinges and literally it had to be repaired, I think I'm not calling the cops. I'm calling the cops and the mamas. It's not even playtime. Nope.
Those are the other friends that you have been in contact with about the stalker.
So I told the detective yesterday that Kaylee talked to very, very consistently.
Okay.
And she talked to very, very consistently. They had plans to live together outside of college.
Okay.
That would be Jordan. That's the one that we listened to the interview of the last time. Jordan was supposed to live with Kaylee. I don't remember where they said that they were supposed to move to, but we know that Kaylee was supposed to be living with a male in Austin when she moved, that she met on some like roommate board. That's why a lot of this stuff is really confusing, because we've heard that guy's come out and like spoken. We've seen the Facebook postings of Kaylee looking for this. Like we've had all of this stuff like come out and be like validated, verified. We've seen the paper trail, but then we have this situation, and I've always been kind of curious about that, because if they were supposed to live together outside of school and Kaylee was graduating early and moving to Austin to apparently go to work, and she was going to have a male roommate, like when were they supposed to live together if she was moving to Austin for work? That's a little bit confusing. And then we hear from Dylan and Bethany, and only freaking Dylan and Bethany, that suddenly Kaylee's like changing her mind about not leaving. By the way, I need to go back, and if anybody has some actual like timestamps for these things, please let me know, because I was listening to a video the other day of Olivia re-explaining the whole like, did Kaylee really have certain people blocked and whatnot? And what was interesting is that she was showing messages and stuff of her like helping Kaylee get out of her internship into this like full-time position. And the way that it was making it sound was like at the time, like it had just just happened. Like it had just happened. It wasn't something where she had been really working a full-time position for very, very long and was moving because she'd been in that. Like it sounds like Olivia had helped her very like in a short amount of time prior to this happening. She didn't want to be an intern anymore. She wanted the position, and she helped her draft the letter in order to get that position. It's just really strange the way that she worded it. And for like, while I was listening to it, it made me like pause on the timeline. And it's not like it really matters, because it really doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. But to have a clear timeline on when she turned from intern to full-time position and what actually triggered the move and what was really going to happen when, because again, roommate, male from a board for Austin from Facebook, this chick, they had plans to live together. Now Dylan and Bethany, and again, only Dylan and Bethany saying that Kaylee suddenly wasn't going to leave. I don't understand why we've had nothing but inconsistent information about Kaylee, her whereabouts, where she was, where she lived, her vehicle, back and forth, the true story about if she was actually moved out or not. Like, why is everything so inconsistent? Not a single thing can be said to have stayed the same from the very beginning. Not a single thing. Not even the way that the injuries were described. Literally nothing. The timeline, everything was switched around. I just wish something had a little bit of clarity. That's all I'm saying.
She was not at the lunch, though.
Okay.
But would probably know something about it if it was mentioned again.
Okay. And do you have a phone number?
I do not. I only contact her on Snapchat, unfortunately. We were at lunch with, I did give the detective her number yesterday.
Okay.
And I know are now together. And I think that talking might be helpful, because they did talk so consistently.
Okay. Do you have a phone number for?
Yeah, let me put you on speaker and I'll pull that up.
Okay.
I'm on a walk right now. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. And who else was at the lunch that you remember?
Well, she was at the lunch, and then that was the first time I met Kaylee. So,
okay. Do you have phone numbers for
I do. Phone number is
Okay.
let me pull her up. This way.
Okay.
And then there was
Yeah, there's like multiple people because this girl, like in the report, it says that this is the first person that Detective Vargas talked to, Officer Vargas talked to. Then afterwards, she calls Jordan, who's in the car or with physically somewhere with Cassidy. And then they also give her like 2 other people's information. So that's like 5. That's 5 people collectively that are trying to figure out exactly what Kaylee said to them because it had something to do with the stalker and her receiving something that was unwanted and giving her hesitation and pause. 5 people. Crazy.
and I do not have her phone number.
Okay. And are all of you guys students here at U of I?
The only one that's not a student at U of I, she's a student at WSU.
So one of the girls that Kaylee said this to is a student at WSU.
Okay. And are all of you guys students here at U of I?
The only one that's not a student at U of I, she's a student at WSU. Actually, Kaylee's the only current student, and I'm the only current student, and is the only current student. And all graduated last year.
For all graduates.
Yes. Actually still lives in Moscow. I live in with we're all in Kaylee's sorority.
I guess that's what the lunch was then, probably.
Okay.
Or maybe not, because that one girl went to WSU. So I guess not.
And you said is here.
Does live here. She's flying back home today, though.
So she is a student.
Yes.
And is a student.
Is no longer a student, no.
Okay. Graduated.
She left her last semester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a graduate. She left last semester. The last semester.
Okay. And you said you don't have phone number, but I could get hold of that person through.
Yes. And I don't have the number, but I'm sure Kaylee has her phone number too.
Okay.
And I'll talk to Kaylee pretty regularly, though. And I hung out with Kaylee through, and so we weren't super close. And then that lunch was the very first time I met her, and then the last time she hung out with her.
Okay. And so you've just been kind of talking to everyone who was at lunch and just trying to remember.
Yeah. Trying to remember any details that we can remember.
Okay.
I mean, all of them are pretty distraught, so they really cannot remember
Yeah.
anything, you know, and I know very, very, like, not to terms with anything yet.
Yeah.
I think so, I mean, that's also hard to remember anything.
Right. And where do they live again?
Lives in, and lives in,
Okay. And you said her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still looking for the date, because this took place on the 15th. I'm looking for something from ISP that was done on the 14th. Since she said she spoke to a detective the day before. I don't think the one that I originally found is her. It sounds like somebody else was having issues in September, getting messages on Instagram from some weirdo. And it's also really interesting. Something that I have on the list of FOIA, and I don't know if they'll give it to me or not, but there's one thing in these reports where I believe it was somebody at the sorority. It might have even been a sorority president. They received some like weird shit in the mail that had like cut out pictures and like bracelets or jewelry or something in it, and it was like addressed real weird. I'm wondering if they'll release photographs of the envelope, of the letter, of the stuff that was sent, because I'm really curious, especially if it seemed like there were multiple maybe girls being harassed on social media by this maybe it's the same weirdo, I don't freaking know. But I think the other girl, the report I found for the Instagram stuff, is a different chick, so we'll still look at it here in a minute.
She lived with her parents?
Yes.
Do you know her parents' name?
I do not. I cannot recall off the top of my head. I've never met them.
Okay. Well, anything that you do think of, if anything else comes to mind, definitely contact me.
Yeah.
And let me know, and I'll try to reach out to these people and see if they remember anything in particular. Can you think of anybody, I guess, that you can think of that Kaylee had any issues with?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. No.
Huh.
No, she was very kind-hearted to everyone. I can't think of anyone that she would have an issue with.
Do you know any of the other people in the residence?
I know them through mutual friends, and I've met them in passing, but no.
My dogs are on crack or something.
I'm from the so like I know of them, but no, I never really talked to them.
Okay. And I guess, do you remember when she said she did get this weird item from a stalker? How did that conversation come about, and or what was she saying about it?
She'd always say things in a super, super lighthearted manner. She'd be talking about childhood trauma like it was like a joke. So I don't think that we really, I don't think.
I remember wanting to touch on this because this is strange to me. Listen one more time to what she says right here.
That conversation come about, and or what was she like?
Go back one more time.
Of them, but no, I never really talked to them.
Okay. And I guess, do you remember when she said she did get this weird item from a stalker? How did that conversation come about, and or what was she saying about it?
She'd always say things in a super, super lighthearted manner. She'd be talking about childhood trauma like it was like a joke. So I don't think that we really.
She would always talk about childhood trauma like it's a joke. I don't really know what I'm supposed to think about that statement. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about that statement. The Goncalveses, we know, put on a big front. We know this. We know the situation with Samantha when it comes to Steve. We know that when the cops got called on Olivia for the fight between her and her husband, I felt like it was a very strange reaction. I said, she told him, someone's alarm's going off. She told her husband the girls needed to go to bed. He went to go do so. They'd been drinking after one of the galas, and when she saw him getting into the bed with the girls to put them to bed, it triggered her something, and she attacked his ass. Like, she ripped him off the top of the bunk bed. They started scrapping, all the things. The cops got called, all the things. And I said, was she drinking so much and they were arguing so much that like triggered something for her, like something that would have maybe happened as a kid, and it's like an instant reaction. Now you have a trigger. So then to hear Kaylee talk so lightheartedly about childhood trauma, could it be a defense mechanism? Probably. A lot of people do that. A lot of people that are horribly depressed and want to off themselves are some of the most hilarious people on the planet, because that's how they deal with things. Sadly normal. So I don't know. I can't sit here and say specifically or accusatorily or anything what I think might have could have happened. I can't, because I don't know. Not all childhood trauma is in the home. Let's put it that way too. But it's odd to say that she talks about that kind of stuff so lightheartedly, but then she's also like really deep into true crime, but she's also telling her friends, hey, I got this like weird thing, you know? So to go from what was she talking about when she's telling you guys about this object that she got from an associate stalker to, you know, she always just kind of like talks so lightheartedly about childhood trauma. That's a very strange cross there. Just observations that we're hearing, you know, that are very factually out there from other things. I'm just saying.
Really, like, I don't think that's why we really asked so many details about it. I think the lunch was around September, like, I think it was on September 11th. So it was like a month, 2 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say it was something like pretty close to then, but I mean, it just got brought up with, I mean, lunch conversation, I guess, which sounds kind of silly, but
Right. Okay. Alrighty, well, I appreciate the information, and I'll reach out to them and see if I can find anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely talk to Jordan, because she would know more about
I think she just said Jordan,
Okay.
which is who she calls after.
All right, we'll give a call, and like I said, if you do think of anything else or remember anything else, give me a call.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know, guys. I just find it crazy that they all collectively remember something like that being said in September before this happened, and there's like, they're just brushing it off. Like, the family didn't know anything about it. The cops are like, not a big deal. I don't know. I find it strange. That's just me. Now the only thing, again, I'm in here like just while I'm looking. And I'm just like Control F September to try to get some information when it comes to like a report, because you would think that like they would talk about a lunch or they would use the word September in the report. Now, honestly, some of these reports, for some reason, like the words don't pick up. I've noticed that a lot, that when I've gone into keyword search things, that it'll tell me that it's like only a certain amount of responses, but I know damn well that there's like other ones, because I already have stuff marked down and highlighted and it's not picking it up for some reason. So I'd have to go in here and look further to see if there's another report. But the only one that I'm finding now that has anything to do with September is again about somebody else. And what it says here is that this person, and it sounds like the girl that had her suitcase, maybe. It's hard to tell who exactly this is, but she talks about not knowing Christy's mom's name. This is the girl that talked about the fights between Kaylee and her family. This is this right here. This exact same girl is also talking about Kaylee and Jack, and also talking about the incident where the girl's suitcase was left in her car. She went out to the car and her stuff was all over the place. We watched that on body cam. So I don't know if that's this person or if this person is reiterating that story to the police. because I'd have to like actually like go back in and read this to be able to tell the context. But down here is where she says that she also was getting messages from September 1st to September 15th from somebody on Instagram, and they give the username, and like this person was like waving and smiling at them, and then they had to be blocked because they were saying like just crazy stuff. This is stuff that I would like to get more into, because this is a friend of Kaylee's or somebody that lived in the area that knew Kaylee's, knew about her family dynamic, and was also getting weird messages on social media around the same time that Kaylee was apparently talking to her friends about a stalker, and we don't know what's connected and what's not anymore. And there's a lot of talk about a stalker and some really crazy ass behavior, and no one's taking it seriously. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why. I just don't. I feel like they should have at least, and honestly, we might find out from filing FOIAs and trying to get more information that they did dig further, and that for some reason they actually got to like the end of this and somehow cleared this person. I don't know. But for them to just like, no, there was no stalker from the very, very beginning, when so many of her friends outside of 1122 were saying, no, there was definitely a problem. And all of them have the exact same story. Did they not dig actually into that? They would have had to have gotten warrants for Facebook and like all kinds of things in order to like ixnay this story. And like almost instantly, they're just like, yeah, no stalker. Y'all didn't even have time to like validate that. You didn't even have time to validate that. It's just a lot. It's just a super, super lot. Yeah, she said September 11th. I'm wondering if it was like, well, see, I was wondering if it was like a sorority thing that they were doing as like a remembrance type lunch thing, maybe. But then she said that one of the girls that was there didn't even go to the U of I. She went to WSU. So I don't know. I have no idea. Well, thank you for the 199, Jamie. I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I have all these. It's an ever-growing list. An ever-growing list of just the crazy stuff. The crazy stuff. I just wish they would have taken the stalker thing a little bit more seriously. Because even the family, that's what bothers me too. Like the same people that are like, this story's being told to from Kaylee also are like, she didn't really have, that great of a relationship with her family. They fought all the time. I don't even know her mom's name. They fought all the time. I didn't talk to them. It's okay for you to not like get along with your child all the time, for y'all to have arguments about what they're doing with their life. That's totally fine. So if that was the case, there's no reason to be like, oh, we're pristine and perfect and nothing was ever wrong and we never argued about anything and we're like the most perfect example of the alpha family. It's not necessary to make yourself look like something that you're not. We're all human. They could have easily come out and been like, there was a lot of differences. We had issues with stuff that was going on. We weren't really sure about what was happening, because obviously it sounds like Kaylee wasn't really sure what she was doing. A lot of it sounds very last minute. I know the pandemic might have had something to do with her decisions, but when I'm seeing stuff about Olivia helping her switch from apprenticeship to full-on position, like very close to the time frame of this all happening, when all these plans were apparently going on and they're also being inconsistent, I don't know. I just wish we had more timeline that was concrete. I don't like it. I just really wish we had a little bit of consistency. It's not a conspiracy theory or me, oh my God, you're just doing all this crazy shit. For me to ask for consistency, for me to ask for something to actually stay concrete, like, shouldn't that be the bare minimum? Shouldn't it be the bare minimum here? I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just insane. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go. I know it's been a while since I've been able to even like do it, but Tuesdays and Thursdays, I can go live in the mornings. And I know that I tried to like, I say this a lot and I really try to stick to it, but life is crazy. But I'm going to really super try. I already have one for tomorrow morning at 11:45 for the Nancy Guthrie case already scheduled and posted out there. I did do an update earlier on that one because the local law enforcement has now come out and said that the family is cleared. They're not giving us shit else, and they're not giving us anything else when it comes to really anything else. Whoever was the person of interest in that was taken the other day was let go. And there's a lot of stuff going on when it comes to people that are finding connections that really aren't connections and possible connections and all kinds of back and forths. And I don't know what's going on right now. But my job for tomorrow at the live is to figure out what's fact, what's fiction, what's legitimate, what's the contradictions are, and what's really for real here, which is what we've been trying to do. What I just put in the chat is the video that I just posted, because I posted something like 4 hours before I posted this one. It's not sending it out into the algorithm. It's not showing it anywhere, but that's the link. It's where they said that the family was cleared. And again, I have a live for tomorrow morning at 11:45. I'll drop that one in the chat too to go over the Nancy case. I don't know what we're going to do when it comes to Idaho tomorrow, because I'm still doing editing on the coffee house thing. And there's like a couple of things that I have on the board for tomorrow that I need to get done for the rest of this week. So I don't know. There's so much, and it's just going to get done as it gets done, because we still have to go through reports. We're still waiting on a lot of stuff. I still have to do the rest of the breakdown for the WSU lawsuit outside of all of the repetitive stuff. There's a lot, but we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. 9:30. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. So welcome and thank you for joining all my new members, and for those of you that have been here for a while, and for the super sticker, I very much appreciate it. Also for members, don't forget that I posted the link for the February members only live. I think it's supposed to be happening on the 23rd. Let me look. Yeah, February 23rd. We always try to do that one a little bit early. It'll be at 5:45 p.m. Texas time. So for the members, there's a link for that members only live. That'll be less than 2 weeks, I guess, about 2 weeks from now. No, a week. See, I almost forgot already jumping over the time. It's the 16th. So yeah, it'll only be like another week before our members only live. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking after the fact about this, because I really feel like they did not take the stalking thing seriously enough. And there's so many of her friends from this lunch that all have this collective memory. And if she really was getting something creepy sent to her in the mail, or something was getting sent to her that she didn't want, and they didn't take it seriously after what happened, I mean, it's not expected, but I would really like to at least be like, okay, I was wrong for once about like the incompetence here, just for once, just once. Prove me wrong just once. I'd love it. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. You guys have a super, super great night. I'm going to go ahead and roll this out real quick. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out, and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.